Good time zone, everyone, and welcome to the finale of One Shot to Live Into the Woods edition. I will be your game master, Aki, and I have a cold, so I sound like a sultry squirrel. Um, and as always, I've got a couple announcements before we dive into things, assuming that the stars stay aligned and schedule stayed schedule. Firstly, next Monday is the finale of Dragon Age Masquerade, where I play Beefy Boy Amihan. Come check us out. I'm so certain that we are doing semi-decent things. Next Tuesday should be Ignite Recall, returning back to its regularly scheduled programming. So stay hyped for that. Now we move on to Us. One Shot to Live uses the Trophy Dark system, and it's a horror game about treasure hunters completely doomed by the narrative. As such, this lovely cast, that I have curated to torture, has gone through session 0, and will be using safety tools throughout the game. Some trigger warnings for this specific incursion include abandonment, burning, and graphic violence. Uh, since this is a rotating cast, we're gonna introduce ourselves really quickly to the audience, but leave out who you're playing. Don't talk about who you're playing. Let's start with Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma, also known as Emelind. I am a streamer and D&D VTM player. I'm currently going through Baldur's Gate with my own D&D character, voice acted as her with all her lore tidbits. It's beautiful, and I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, you're muted,
Oh, I'm
Bijan.
muted. Okay.
Oh
Hi, my name
no!
is
I was like,
Bijan. I go by Usalbard on this channel, and yeah, I play in a lot of different streamed games. Right now, specifically Ancestral Blood, our VTM Chronicle, that the storyteller Miss Magitek is running, and I'm excited to play Trophy Dark for the first time.
And hi, I'm Syrinx, she, her, and I also just do a lot of tabletop and cosplay and LARP shit over on the socials, and I'm very happy to be back on MagiRPG.
Alrighty, y'all ready to, for lack of better words, get sick nasty?
Yo, let's get down.
let's go.
Let's go. All right. Got a little intro for you guys for Forest Blades here before we. Well, we are starting, so I'm gonna paint you the setting here. I apologize for the gain. It's an old story, but an enticing one. The day of shattered skies and broken steel, when warriors mighty in power and prestige proved their worth, and 1,000 blades clashed. Scholars and priests differ on who led what side or what the battle was even about. Hence its many names. The Sunset War, the Battle of Kalmadr, the Skies Asunder, and more. The one consistent observation is that the battle's scale was beyond what anyone today could imagine. A forest now grows upon that ancient battlefield. The stories say that powerful artifacts lie within, weapons crafted to smite the ground and tear the sky apart. Not to mention heirlooms of the past, the booty of soldiers still unclaimed. Any soul brave enough and clever enough to navigate the forest would surely come out with a sizable bounty. But the stories warn that the forest has been watered by the blood of the dead, and the dead would be preferred to be undisturbed. Treasure hunters, that's y'all. You are on in a cart. It's a very basic cart. Please think Skyrim. One of y'all is driving the horse, basically. The rest of y'all are sitting in a rather open wooden cart. So let's go around and Maybe introduce yourselves. What do you look like? Who are you playing? Give as much or as little detail as you want.
I'll volunteer for driving a cart if everyone else is fine with that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Kel is sitting at the front of the cart, steering the horses in the right direction. Kel is a taller person than most. They have a very soft demeanor despite the attire that they're wearing. They have like a pale green tunic slash gambizon on with pieces of metal armor attached to them. Breastplate, pauldrons, pretty much fully decked out to the point where it's still movable and flexible. But they are not hiding the fact that they are a knight. They wear a little necklace on top of as well with a religious symbol and seemingly no crest anywhere. No crest that would show that they are aligned to any of the houses or stuff. Nothing is visible of the sort. They are relaxed as they drive these horses closer and closer to the forest. And I think they keep an ear out towards the back where the other two are sitting, just to constantly be aware of what they're talking about. And in case anything happens that they want to pick up on or that they have to interfere, either are possible.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess in the back of the cart is sitting Laura. He is a young man in his early 20s. He wears a he's tall, he's in shape, but he's kind of skinny. He has a big long sword strapped to his back, which he probably is not strong enough to wield properly. And he wears like a simple brown tunic with chainmail. It's a chainmail mantle draped over his shoulder. And the sword and the chainmail, they're both stamped with the image of a chalice, which is the symbol for the Church of Nevia. I'm sure he would have told you by now at this point. And also at his side hangs a simple wooden chalice, which is like hooked to his belt. Which is a telltale. If they have them in your kingdom, if the Church of Nevia is there, you would know that usually like the priests wear this, or a very devout follower. And yeah, I'm sure he is sitting in the back, conversing with Revel. Yeah.
Revel is sitting opposite Alora. She's wearing what I guess most would call very common, almost a peasant level of garb, but it doesn't fit her very well. And the black velvet slippers still on her feet kind of give her away a little. Her hair is a rich merlot, and it also makes the cotton dress look more like a costume. It's too healthy, it's too shiny, her hair, in contrast. Her skin is clear, her brows are shaped, her lashes are dark, all indicators that come from a line of merchants. She came from somewhere a little bit better off than that, but is very visibly and poorly trying to hide as much. You can watch her straighten the dress for the 75th time that journey. And she again glances at Kel, who's driving the horses. How much longer do you think it's gonna be?
Anywhere from a few more minutes to maybe an hour. It depends on what point of the forest we want to get into. At some point, we'll have to leave the cart behind.
Well,
Wait, we're gonna have to walk on foot?
surely
Yes,
you're
my
not intending
lady.
to enter the forest. Is that your destination?
Well, as far as I know, the two of us will have to head through it at some point, and it's a headache to try to figure out which point of the forest is the thinnest to go through. At some point, you just need to begin walking. And yes, my lady, we do have to walk.
Alright, as long as we can take it at a reasonable pace, I think we'll be fine. Laura, are you not coming with us through the forest? I mean, please take whatever path you'd like. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but
Well, no, I actually intend to travel to the forest. It is my destination. Are you
Oh.
aware of the Forest of Blades? Have you heard of this forest?
no, I don't think we're just passing through. I'm not sure any of the local folklore gets to us.
I see. Well,
Why, is there something wrong with it?
I would be remiss in my duties to the lady if I did not inform you of how dangerous this forest is. It's not just a common traveling path one would casually walk through. There are said to be great dangers there. Of what exactly, I don't know. But there is supposedly great relics, ancient relics of innumerable value.
Now, why would people be leaving relics of value in a forest? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Honestly, I've never really thought about it. I'm not sure. But if there are artifacts there that are worthy to the Lady Nevia, then I will collect them in her honor and bring them back to the church. That's
Oh,
my
is this
duty
some
and my
sorta-
calling.
Is this some sort of rite of passage or something?
No. Not quite.
If you don't mind me prying.
And you'd see him kind of stiffen up a little bit as you ask him more specific questions about what he's doing. No, it's, I'm hoping to regain favor with the church.
Oh.
The church normally doesn't send devotees out this far. Squires such as myself.
Oh, so it's a single location. You don't have, I don't know, churches in a bunch of different cities?
No, we do, just not quite here. It's dangerous out in these parts.
Do any of us have a map?
I would say yeah, at least one of you guys has a map. Whereas others you might know of the place, as in this location is like well known. A map inside the forest, that's different.
Right.
Yeah. If you look at like a map around of the area, you can tell that this forest is like thick and dense, but it's like a line. So objectively, you follow the straight line. There used to be paths that cross through, because this was a battlefield, and now something has made an ancient forest. So there are paths you may travel. There is a road, It's just surrounded by, like, I'm talking Beauty and the Beast, Black Forest level thick
Oh.
woods. Yeah, very thick, very ominous. In fact, you can kind of see, if I may, there is a wet, sticky fog that smells of rust and tastes of blood. You can taste it, this coppery feeling dangling on your tongue, and that is how you know you have entered not the forest, but rather its vicinity. You know where you are on the map now. The forest has told you exactly where you are. You have not entered yet. You can see it though. It is within line view.
Oh,
The best way to put it is this forest is clearly alive with something, but all the trees are dead. The mist, the fog that covers it, you can see its black branches poke out into the sky as if trying to stab at it. You will
Huh.
also actually see some figures standing post in front of where you would typically enter in the forest, and I'm gonna make y'all do risk rolls, except no black die, no black die. So please pitch me a skill that you have. As this roll here is just, can you recall anything else about this forest?
Can I? Oh, go ahead,
no,
Bijan.
no, 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 please, please.
Can I pitch that? I think I think Kel would know about the history of the forest with the battle that happened there.
Yeah, you're a knight. Like, straight up, your occupation would tell you would have to know about. Actually, knights and priests, y'all would kind of have to know. So I might not make you roll, but my lovely courtesan, um, do you do you think you got anything that could help you with this roll?
If the kingdom that we're from is affluent enough, it would make sense to me that they have some sort of royal library, and annals of history would find a place there. And I think that she has spent enough time within the castle walls that heading to the library and doing a little recreational reading or research would be perfectly in line with Revel's character.
Yeah. You know what? With that reason, I'm not gonna make y'all roll anything at all, because now that I'm looking at your backgrounds, and you're literally made to know what this forest is, or well, most of it. You may have heard or seen that there is a ragged band of warriors wearing mist-match armor. They like to call themselves the Shield of the Forest. They are remnants of a once mighty company of warriors, now reduced to guarding the graves of their forefathers. Things you would know specifically about them: they are fucking rude. There is no etiquette, no decorum. And based on what you will now see as you pass by a little bit slowly now, I would say, you see starved, emaciated dogs gorging on fresh corpses. Corpses picked clean of their items and belongings. I would say you can infer who did that and who might be waiting for you.
It's terrible.
Revel leans over in her seat and braces an arm over on the raised portion where Kel is driving the horses. Kel, I don't know if this is safe.
I'm slowly bringing the horses to a halt and not getting closer to them. Because I'm also calculating right now. There are those warriors there. So either we go there or we try to enter the forest someplace else. But she'll say Yeah. There. How many are there? 4, like, more?
I would say, so you know that there are more, but it would appear that there's only like 3 on the road in front of you. You don't know where the others have went. You can assume maybe further into the forest, but there's 3 waiting like toll collectors for y'all.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's safe.
If
Oh,
you
what
do
are we
insist,
supposed to do?
well, we can explain our purpose and talk our way through, perhaps.
I don't know if they talk first. I don't know if you noticed the dogs, but she like cranes her neck to look over the side of the cart and more directly at the dogs having a little snack.
Yeah, They're not the type to listen.
Surely they would
And-
understand a man with a holy purpose. They wouldn't. They wouldn't stop a man of the cloth, would they?
Honey,
They
if
would
you want
love
to
to
go
make
walk
you-
up and try, we'll sit here. She kind of bolts her arms underneath her chest.
I mean, do we have any other ideas? I mean, of course, if I must, I will, but since we're talking about it,
Thinking it over, the decision of morally, it's like, no, you don't want to send this person in alone. But if Revel suggests it, it's like, but on the other hand, if this person goes and it goes wrong, then we have a distraction to get into the forest at another side. So there's like the weighing of those options in Kel's head, as they
So
say.
Kel would know from having spent enough time around Rebel that and why I had her cross her arms is because she's pointing out what a poor idea it is to Laura. So she's not necessarily very serious, but it's like come on. Well, if this is such a good idea, why don't you go do that?
Okay, then I'm the only one actually thinking it over as an actual idea.
Sorry.
you could pressure him into going.
Oh no, she doesn't actually want him to go because she's convinced he's gonna die. That's not safe.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna walk up to them as a man of the cloth, they're gonna make you dog food.
I see.
I mean, I don't see anybody else standing around there that's not dog food.
That's a good point.
So,
Do we leave the cart here? I mean, we're gonna have to walk on foot anyways. And do we just, I don't know, pick a part and start? Just start walking?
Do they see us right now? Are they like aware
No.
of us? Okay.
No, they're kind of like, the best way to put it is that they are standing in the area that is most likely to be traveled through. Like on maps, if there's like a path that goes through, that's where they're standing. But
Yeah.
objectively, you can travel in the forest anywhere. It's literally like a thick line through the map. So you can get in any way you'd like. They are just standing on the path that most people, like yourselves, would be following. They do not see you. They seem to be more interested in talking, rabbling, who knows, with each other. But the idea is that it's like, if you get close enough following this path, they're gonna see you, especially with a horse. But if you choose to, enter a different way, this place is huge. There's a very good chance that even if they do see you, they can't run to get to you in time for you to get into the forest. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, There's only 3 of them standing there, but I'm assuming that there's more of them, counting the dogs as well. I think I would rather avoid a confrontation.
Yes,
I wouldn't want you to meet them.
I'm sure we can find our way back to the main path. We'll
Yeah.
just circle around them.
We can take the horse though. I mean, we can leave.
Hmm.
We can't take the cart, but we can take the horse.
The horse is probably going to be a bigger object that they can see in the forest if they would want to, or a bigger object that makes noise.
I'm just. It's one thing to outrun some men, but I'm worried we won't be able to outrun dogs.
You know what? Now that I think of it, I'm fine holding one horse. You could sit
Yeah.
on it.
I mean, maybe if it's an emergency, I think we can all fit.
If there's an emergency, my lady, you should just flee.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh.
So, we take a horse. Only one. We leave the rest behind, and we travel into the forest here. At a side path.
Do we need to? She starts going through what few belongings they have in the back, and starts to rifle through. I think we have maybe 1 or 2 satchels. I don't think Kel and Revel left with much, but
No.
I do think that she was able to sell her nice dress on the way. Obviously not for what it's worth, because nobody's got that price tag outside of some noble circles, right? But it's enough to have been buying them food and water and food for the horse, getting them through things. So she's trying to scrabble together what remaining provisions they have. I can just hold it on the horse if that's easy.
That would be
That
helpful.
would be delightful. Yeah.
She's just got a little haversack.
Kel will get out of the front of the carriage and start loosening the ties of one horse to prepare them to take one of them with. They'll say, I think it's much smarter not to try and cause a distraction now that they haven't seen us yet. I'm gonna just send the other horse the way we came, running, so they don't see a convenient carriage standing here, noticing them that someone has entered the forest here.
Well, I mean, we gotta let Daffodil free, because if she's stuck to the wagon, what if somebody doesn't find her?
I'm sure someone will find her.
You promise?
We have to trust that the lady will guide her on her own path. She has a path for everyone, even the horse.
She will look at Laura as he speaks, but her gaze goes back to Kel.
She will be fine. Any
I'm
pets remain.
I'm not gonna make a promise I can't keep, but I'm not gonna leave a wagon here for them to still find and put you in danger. So I can't promise, but it's still gonna happen.
You watch her pout just a little bit, and it's the remnants of someone who is very used to getting their way, but it is gone as quickly as it manifests on her features. Is there some brush we could push it in and then set her free? I help. I can push a little.
Would it
Since-
ease your
oh,
mind to do so?
Yeah, I don't want to consign her. What if she falls in the river and she's strapped to that carriage?
Well,
Can she even bend down and eat or get a drink?
I am not in so much of a rush that I cannot take the time to help soothe your worries.
Thank you.
Sounds like you're going to hide the carriage, or well, it's not even a carriage; it's a wagon. You're gonna hide the wagon, and set Daffodil, because you've named this horse. I'm gonna say there was 2 horses because you're
Yeah.
taking one.
Yeah.
Daffodil is the one you were setting free. You're just letting her go.
Yeah.
All right. This plus
Chrysanthemum is the one we're keeping.
okay, you're keeping chrysanthemum. All right, this is good. This is good. Name the things that I could use to hurt you with.
Oh no.
You're gonna do all of this. No rules needed because you're taking your time, and time you are taking it. So you feel it get colder as the day continues on, and we're gonna fast forward just a little bit. You have done these things successfully. Daffodil, running free. You will notice that she avoids the forest.
Yeah.
She runs a bit, catches the attention of the band of warriors or whatever, and then she runs kind of sideways, away from the forest, not back to where you all came from, but rather just away. And they will chase after her. But this is a horse, and they are 3 guys in heavy armor that doesn't necessarily fit them. I'm gonna let you know right now, Daffodil's gonna live. Unless, I don't know, I see a way to scar you later.
Oh no.
Good
But
to know.
it did take you guys a hot minute to do this. So you were entering the forest rather than, for example, if it was morning, it is now well into the afternoon. As you have to basically walk here. As you enter the forest, you see provisions. Probably from the shields of the forest, those warriors, like they left a bag or 2 around. It does imply that there are more of them. You do not see where they are, but you do see in this bag there are foods that have clearly gone bad. There's some that can be salvaged, but
We aren't even in there.
I hope that.
Hey, I think I
hope
lost
that-
everybody.
oh, I can hear you.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that was my internet. Okay, everybody dropped out of. Okay. Can we just go
Yeah,
back
you
like
may.
about 30 seconds? I think we're back. We're all good again.
Yeah,
are
yeah,
you
yeah.
still recording? Is it still fine?
It is still recording.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it might be an internet thing. I think my internet cut out for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know what's going on there. Sorry. Apologize.
No worries. I can go
Okay,
back
you
30
can control
seconds.
that.
Yeah. So you find a bag of provisions, which implies that there are more of them. Look, these bags are kind of scattered here and there as well, like as if this is one place where maybe they make camp, or maybe one of them comes to take a break here or something. You find that a lot of this food has gone bad. There are some that you can scavenge, some that you can save. But most importantly, you see a cracked wooden ring, all 3 of you. It is intricate, it is ornate, and perhaps when you tilt your head slightly or when the light hits it just right, you detect a hint of magic. A question for all of you. What do you know of the battle that created this wood and how it ended? The wood is what you recognize. The wood holds the power, and the wood makes this ring very valuable, magic or not.
So, with my background as a defrocked priest, one of my skills is omens. So rather than like knowing specifically what is up with the forest, can I get the general, or with the wood, can I get the general sense of whether this is a good or bad omen for me to take this ring? Or do I feel some sort of omen around this ring?
Okay, now you're gonna have to make a roll for that. It's gonna be risk roll with no dark die. You said that you are using omen, so it's quite literally just one light die. So just roll one light die.
3.
You got a 3? Oh boy. You. Excuse me. You can't tell. Something is in you. It is obscuring your ability to sense good and bad, right and wrong. It's as if your goddess can't see it, or is not letting you see it. But you know that the wood is ancient. You know that it currently holds a sizzle of power, a speck, but it could be worth something. It could be worth something to your church.
Laura, for sure, without having a clear sense from, from his omens, is going to trust his intuition, which is that the more I can bring back to the church, the more likely they're going to let me back in. And he's going to look at his two companions and kind of try to get a sense of like, do they have the greed in their eyes? Are they motioning that they might be interested in this?
That would that would very much depend, because the same question is proposed to you both. What do you know of the battle that created this wood and how it ended?
I would very much imagine that being a knight, having spent most of my life in the courts and different aspects of that lifestyle, I would have heard about the battle, but I would like it. It's not like I have time to go read the books like Revel could. It's not like I have those type of skills and that time and those connections. So whereas I think in my head, my idea of this battle is all based on subjective information. I don't know the clear ending to it because stories change as people tell them. I don't get my information from a book, rather I got it from the mouths of different peoples, of other knights. So I'm sure that I know lots of different versions and aspects of the story of what happened here, of the battle that happened here, but I don't know a clear answer. So I might know that there's something about this wood, but what exactly? People don't agree on what, so I can't give a straight answer.
And Revel, what about you?
So, alongside the duty she was performing, is skilled in alchemy, rituals, and symbols. So, I'm not sure how the force would manifest in that, but if there's a particular type of magic that is saturated in this area, or if there's a particular way of making rings like this, artifacts like this, that she might recognize in her study of, for instance, crafting symbols or interpreting symbols. That's what I can think of that might relate to this from her breadth of knowledge.
Also make like a risk roll. No dark die needed, unless you would like it. But just a one light die.
Just a 2.
Similarly, you know so many things. There's so many reasons behind what this could be. But you do also feel that it has just whatever. It could have been greater magic, but now it is down to a speck. Regardless, you know that the wood is valuable. The wood makes this ring valuable. And maybe it is a gift that could be given to your heiress to prove that you are worth something. Specifically, all this trouble.
Oh.
So, I believe Laura proposed a question if either of you wanted it.
Kel doesn't have any reason to want this ring. Rather, I think they would have the opinion that whatever is in this bag, they should probably not take. Because it's like, the food, well, you don't know if it's good or if it's poisoned or anything. And if it's something to mislead people, they'll also say this out loud and be like, this might be a trick from those warriors that they want people to pick this up, steal their stuff. I wouldn't touch it.
You think? Well, maybe.
I mean, if they notice something's missing, they know somebody's passed through.
Well,
Or rather, they leave these around because they know people might pass through here and decide to steal the stuff they find. Easy prey.
if they are brigands, as you suggest, I feel no shame in taking for our cause. But if this is a trap, then it would be foolish to risk our well-being on such a small, worthless trinket.
Whatever you want to take, you take, priest. Just saying, Revel, don't take it.
Alright.
I'm not your nanny. They say towards Laura.
If you believe that it would endanger the group if I were to take it, then I shall know.
I mean, if this forest has as many artifacts as you say it does, I'm sure we'll come across others.
There's only one prize that I need.
Oh,
So you make a good point. And he'll step away.
All right. You all leave this ancient wooden ring alone, I'm assuming. No one's touching it.
As
Oh.
we turn away to leave, as they avert their gaze from the direction of the ring, Laura's going to snatch it up, and he's going to
When
put it right
you-
into his pouch.
You feel it in your pouch. It is surprisingly heavy for a wooden ring. And you do actually feel a weight leave it. That sparkle of magic is now gone. However, there is still power in this ring, in the wood of the ring. What power do you think that is?
Oh. Power. Oh, this puts me right into like a choice paralysis here. Um, how about, you know what? In that theme, how about the power to resist binding or being frozen? If there's
It-
something that would restrict my movement magically, this would stop it.
Mhm. You are gonna gain the condition bravery. This makes you feel powerful. You are now ungovernable. Lucky. This ring makes you feel strong. If you felt weary walking into this forest, you don't anymore. Because you know that you were sent here with a purpose and you are on the right path. In fact, you can pave that path, it will lead you where you need to go exactly.
Okay.
We are now moving on to Ring 2. As you continue to traverse in this forest, the trees quickly occlude the sky, obscuring the senses and forcing you to produce your own light. You may have candles or lanterns already, and you find yourself having to need it, despite knowing that it is not night yet. It is just simply very dark. Also, just above table, uh, it doesn't actually. It like your the uh, power thing that you suggested. It doesn't. Don't worry about that. Rituals can still happen. Like it's sort of like you know when there's resistances and you can overcome resistances in games and stuff like that because you just hit that hard or whatever. Think of it like that. That's the thing with rituals, yeah. In this case, though, I've given you a condition that you can use narratively however you'd like. Because now you're brave. You can even call yourself overconfident if you want, because that's what bravery can lead to. Just know that you are you feel a little good about yourself right now. Like taking the ring was the right thing for you. Sort of. Like that's the vibe, yeah. And flavor text the fuck out of it. Back in, you have to produce your own light, and it is dark, or rather foggy and cold, and you begin to hear crying, sniveling pleas of warriors at death's door. It is distant, but you hear it, you hear begging. You hear people crying for their mothers, for their lovers, for a god that can't see them. And it is somehow so close yet so very far away. A patch of land full of frozen, grasping hands pokes from the dirt. Something was buried there, on purpose or through time, who knows? But you will move on, because your treasures aren't there, and you're simply passing through.
I I will add in that as they get to the colder parts, as they pass through and hear like distant screaming, see those hands poking out of the ground, Kel is gonna take off a cloak that they had, wrap it around, and offer it to Revel. And one hand holding a torch, the other hand holding a sword. They will kind of stick closer to Revel and just say, nothing's gonna touch us. We just have to keep walking.
Rebel's face, as soon as that first discordant cry could be heard in the forest. Her eyes are like darting around, and with the temperature, she does have arms clutched around herself. She is constantly flicking back her gaze to Kel. Just it's almost like a safety measure, just to be like, okay, if Kel is okay, everything is okay. She does take the cloak and she bundles it around herself, holding it at the base of her neck. Did we want her on the horse?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
If we
then
could have
she's on
still taken the horse with us, then yeah.
How is our horse behaving through all this?
Your horse is decent for now. You can tell that they move slower than the pace that you might want them to go. But that is because your horse is just as cautious as the rest of you.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. The light is very little. Your lamps, you're not even sure if they help. Because all you can see is each other because of how close you decide to travel together. And fog. You only notice these extra details, the grasping hands and such, because they're at your feet. Or rather, your horse's feet. The rest of you also your feet. So you know to dodge them, you know to move past them, walk around, walk over, but if you were not as careful as you are right now, you would trip. It's also not just one hand in the same grave, which is objectively more alarming.
As they pass these hands, I mean, Laura would start the prayer, generally under his breath, the most part, and he would walk up to Cal and Revel and say, as Brother Valen would say, walk in her light, and even the darkest path will lead you to salvation. You should not fear.
Do you think you could use any of that to like make these torches burn a little brighter? Or anything that'll like actually be useful? That would be really nice.
The torch may falter, but the light of the lady will never wane.
I
Taking that as a no.
No, I don't. Having
So we're
means.
speaking figuratively. All right.
No, I'm being quite literal here. She will guide us on this path. We must trust in her light.
Do you see her light? I can't see past the horse's nose.
Maybe difficult to see the road before you, but you must trust that the path is there.
Honey, I think Kel is the one who steered us around those hands. I think Kel gets credit for that. Us,
Many people try to take credit for the work of the Lord. That's fine. But Nevia's hand guides us. Whatever you might believe. I am not saying that Kel's contributions are not the reason that we are surviving. I'm just saying everything she does is guided by the lady.
Revel, it's fine. I don't need the praise for anything that would be of the lady. It's fine. I don't need the praise. I'm barely seeing the path forward anyway, so if it's her light or this actual torch that's right here, who's to say, right?
The three of you. Well, actually, Kel, I gotta ask. Kel, are you actually bothered?
By the surroundings or by the ramblings of this priest?
Both. Yeah, both. Because you kind of got the AOE here.
um, the surroundings do concern me because I think honestly, if I were to be alone, it wouldn't bother me. But there's this kind of feeling of I hate that I need to take Revel through this place. That feeling is there. So it's much less a feeling of I'm unsettled by this and more of a I hope that they're okay with this and I'm trying to reassure them and it's good that they're making jokes and stuff. The ramblings it does frustrate to hear Laura speak about the lady and how everything is clear in her light. And it's just like very frustrating to keep hearing him say this in like full confidence and be so reassured about it. It's the only reason that's frustrating is when you don't actually believe in it or yourself and you have lost reason to believe in that. And that's just frustrating. So that's why they're happy to close it off and be like, it's fine, just leave it be. I don't care about it. As in like, let's just skip this conversation part.
Okay. Laura, I'm assuming you took offense to that.
I would just sense her hesitation, and as I have in so many others, taken that as a sign to press further.
All right, so you're holding it in for now. It's like, all right.
No, I'm gonna just say so. So you do not hold any belief in a higher power yourself, Cal? You do not. I see. Obviously, you do not follow the path, but that's fine. Not all who wander follow her path, but that doesn't mean that you don't walk in her grace. But do you not follow any gods?
I'm quite literally following a path here, but I believe in higher powers. Sure, anyone would be stupid not to.
And you don't believe that, do you believe that they guide your hand and provide you with a moral wisdom, a beacon, a standard to live your life by?
Honestly, aren't morals more of a personal thing? Everyone decides their own morals, it seems. I mean, you as a group, I'm sure you agreed on the morals that you all follow, but that's because you agreed upon it as a group. Everyone's morals are their own. And I'm sure it's very nice to have a lady show you the path and not have to think about it yourself or find it yourself.
It is nice, actually. It's very nice. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. We all have a sense of right and wrong that's innate to us. That comes from somewhere, whether you want to believe it's from the lady or from your own internal stores. That's fine. But if our sins, if our morals are just whatever we say they are, then who can absolve us of our sins?
My rights and wrongs are probably very different than yours, priest. Probably different than even Revel's. I'm sure at the end I'll be judged.
As you
But
kind
how-
of. Oh, Blue, go ahead,
Go
finish your
ahead.
thought.
No, go ahead, actually.
All right, as you're kind of left cut off by this silence, as you stumble upon the remnants, I should say, of a well-trodden war camp. The fog lifts briefly just to show you this. The war camp here is full of rotted tents and hastily erected battlements, and there are corpses, long rotted, now bone. And there is a lonely bonfire lit in the center. And what does the bonfire highlight, if not trinkets and treasures, weapons and armor, and something that piques the interest of each of you? What are you looking at that piques your interest, lit only by this lonely bonfire?
For Laura, a scroll with a wax seal with the symbol of the chalice on it.
I think as oh, are we good?
You're
I
back.
think yeah, we're back.
I'm so sorry. It
beat
for
a little
like
bit.
No,
yeah.
it's
couple
not your
seconds.
fault.
uh,
It's all good. You can't
okay.
control the internet.
I think we're good to go though.
Okay. I think for Revel, it will be something as simple as a fine porcelain saucer gilded with a rose detail around its edges. And in the middle sits a little tea cake. It's small, coated in a white ganache, and it's got a little fondant rose on the top.
And for Kel, I imagine it's from all of the trinkets standing there gathered as a little pile. There is a pendant hanging from it with the symbol on it of a sun cresting over you could say a sky, but just a flat symbol that symbolizes either sunset or dawn. One could think both. And it glinsters a little bit in the torchlight among all of the trinkets.
I'm gonna now ask, do y'all pick it up? There's an enormous amount of items here. You can also go nuts and start grabbing that shit, but the ones that in particularly call out to you, do you guys choose to grab them?
I can for sure. Laura is not going to pass up anything with his the holy symbol on it. So
Revel and Kel, are you going to?
Revel is gonna watch. Laura, are you just gonna pick your way right through all the tents and the dead bodies and make right for that bonfire?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna just like calmly, casually walk out without hesitation. But the intent is very clear in Laura's eyes. Like that's not
Yeah.
something he's gonna walk by without trying to get.
If you choose, okay, you don't have to like freaking grandstand, walk, jump off the horse, make a big commotion about it. No. But if you choose to take this, you want to take it, and your intention is to take it in some way, shape, or form, stealthily, grandstandily, Regardless, I'm going to need all of you to make a ruin roll.
Ruin.
The ruin roll is just one dark die.
So Revel's watching Laura start to head that direction, and she gives a panicked look to Kel. Laura, honey, that's we don't know who lit that bonfire. There could be people around here. More of those men.
I understand the dangers. There are risks. But I came into this forest to find relics and artifacts of the Church of Nevia. That is clearly of our order.
Can
mean,
we
who could-
do it a little more manfully?
Of course, I don't wish to just traipse across this encampment here. Is there any way we can? He looks around. I mean, is there signs of people being here
No,
right now?
Just the
no,
fire.
no, no. This is just the fire. As if the fire is the only thing that is proof of life in this forest right now. But everything surrounding looks like it's been taken by time. There's not even any fresh tracks, nothing.
And you said, how are these items displayed in relation to this fire?
They are displayed. They're not. So these three things are not like, let's say, clumped together for y'all to be like they're not like clumped together like you're gonna choose your starter Pokemon or
Right.
anything. They're just kind of around, and the light that bounces off of it catches your eye, and that is how you notice it. That's how you are able to pick out these details and feel this connection with it. It's as if the light was trying to find you.
The best I can do is be careful,
Mhm.
and I will, as always, trust in the lady. And he's going to just walk out into towards the
Yeah.
scroll.
When you grab it, because you rolled a 1, I believe that this is lower than your
It
current
is.
ruin state, right? And you are unaffected. You have this item now, something that undoubtedly belongs to your church, belongs to your lady. It looks weathered by time, but perhaps preserved by her light. You could open it, you can look in it, you can see that it is something of immense value. It is a lost archive, and you may choose to read it later, but you know exactly what it is, and you know deep down, this will please your church, this will please your lady.
This is good. This is good. And he's not gonna read it just yet. He's gonna put it in his pouch with the ring, and he is going to he's gonna rejoin the party. Suggest
Do
unless any of
the
you-
other two, do you also wish to take the items that called out to you?
I was about to say, I think that I imagine that the three of them did revel, maybe even hopping off of the horse for this. I imagine that Kel at least did walk around like the camp, walk around the stuff, look at all of it, bend down a little bit and look at the emblem. But I think as they got distracted by this, the sound of Revel and Laura talking about this, the sound of Laura walking, taking something and saying like, oh, this is good, this is like very good, it catches them out of it, and so they straighten back up. The thought in their head of this person has to be watched, and that kind of duty in their head kind of just snaps them away from the items and makes them focus on the other two again and just say, we should head further. It's not good to linger.
What
I
about
agree.
you, Revel?
Go ahead, Bijan, then I'll go.
I just said I agree. Good.
Okay. So Rebel does slide off Chrysanthemum. She still has the cloak pulled tight around her shoulders. And if we've left any of the tack on Chrysanthemum, she's gonna hold what remains of the halter or bridle and clutch the cloak close. And her eyes do not leave Kel as they make their way around the camp. Just like she's anxiously waiting for Kel to come back. And so if Kel does circle back, Revel will lean in. There's a tea cake from Kitchens. How would that even get here? I don't understand what it means. She'll lean in close and point it out so where Kel can also lean in and follow the line of trajectory along her finger.
Kel, you're not gonna see that.
I did what, a tea cake?
A little bit of panic bubbles up on her features. It's on. You see that rock that's kind of bigger than the others around the rim of the bonfire? There's a little porcelain saucer on it, and one of the little cakes they serve at all the large functions at the castle. Her voice is lowered, but it's still hushed and hurried. So Laura can probably hear them having a conversation, but the words are harder to pick out. The one with the little flowers on top. It's right there.
Revel, I'm not seeing a cake.
Revel lets go of Chrysanthemum's bridle, and she grabs Kel's hand and kind of hurriedly walks over. She leans down and literally touches the rock right next to it. It's right here.
Kel, you see your pendant.
That's not a tea cake.
Honey, I know you've had them before. You know what they look like. What
Yeah,
do you mean?
We should, I'm sure we have some rations, so, let's get you back on that horse.
How can it be here? We
It's-
are hundreds of miles away.
You two all right over there? We should probably get going.
Watch the
not
horse,
here.
Laura. She turns back to Kel.
Okay.
I'm gonna before
He's gonna grab the horse's
I'm
rein
sorry.
and
It's-
comply.
it's good, man. Get panicked. Laura, you're holding Chrysanthemum, but I need Kel and Revel to just make a Bruin roll now because shit is.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry.
both quite aware that shit is fucked. So that is ruin rolls are just a dark die.
Oh.
Oh no.
We're all, and someone...
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh.
Kel, I believe you rolled a 1, and that
Yeah.
is lower than your current ruin, so you are
Yeah.
unaffected. You are watching, rather, the front row seat of what happens to Revel. Revel, please mark 1 ruin because that is higher than your current state, and you will gain a condition. For me, just roll 2d6. It doesn't matter the color of the die. This just helps me pick on the table.
Oh.
One second. Let me go look for those now, really quickly. Hmm. Rebel, this forest is not at all what you expected it to be. And every minute here feels like an eternity. Every second becomes an hour. Time is so stretched out. You will, just in case, I'm also gonna drop this in our group chat. Feel bad, they're gonna get spammed. Um, you will gain the condition. What's a good word for this?
I've typed out anxiety. So like time
Anxiety.
slowed / anxiety. So you feel like
Yeah.
things are ticking a lot more slowly, and so it's just a mounting anxiousness.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That is what you're feeling right now. In fact, when you look on the ground, when you look at yourself, for a moment, you can see, rather, your skin stretch out and go from baby smooth to old and then back to baby smooth because you've blinked. When you blink, blinking helps, but blinking implies all of the seconds that are adding up, and it's just feeling like forever here, standing here.
Revel has one hand in Kel's and the other bracing the cloak around her neck, and she like looks down at her like bare arm and sees that, and she like lets go of Kel for a moment, and you watch horror flash across her features, and she blinks again and it's gone, and you watch her hold her hand up, pivot it around several times, and she just takes that hand and scrubs it across her face for a moment. I think we need to find somewhere to rest or get through here. I think we've been awake too long.
It's if you can still keep up, we're gonna just head in a little further. The further we get, the faster we get out. You're gonna be fine. Just get back on the horse.
All right.
The
And
trek.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming Kel is going to help you to get on to Mount Chrysanthemum, but just Chrysanthemum's not too far from you. Laura's not too far from you, but the trek to get there feels like what you did moments. Was it moments? Or was it years? You're not sure. When you entered the forest, that long moving around, going around that long trek, that thing took like 30 minutes, maybe an extra. That's what you think, at the very least. That's what it kind of feels like getting back on Chrysanthemum. Your bones feel a little weary, like you've ran a marathon, like you've been walking forever. Sitting on Chrysanthemum feels better. It alleviates things. And your tea cakes are gone.
Revel lays down flat across Chrysanthemum's withers and up into her mane, and she's got their haversack like pressed between them, so she's still holding on to it, and she just kind of like, as much as she can, wrap her arms around the horse, and she closes her eyes and just kind of buries her face into the mane to try to disrupt her perception of time, to try to make all of this stop for a moment. She can't see the tricks of the fire or whatever the fuck is going on with her flesh. Clearly travel has been too much for her, and she needs to just rest a little.
The rest of you, Please make a risk roll to navigate away from here, as I'm sure you are ready to leave. How this risk roll will work is you may take a light die if you can apply a skill that you have to it, and then I will request that you take a dark die since you are navigating very dark woods. And if you would like to take a devil's bargain, please let me know.
So, is only one skill allowed, or
Only one skill, yeah. It can be any skill. You know, you can even say that all 4 of your skills sometimes like are all applicable. The idea though is that you will only get one light die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, logical thing I'll say is with how trained Kel is, they can easily maneuver the group and the horse mostly through narrow spaces or avoid certain things on the ground, certain dangers on the ground, using their athletic skills.
Mm-hmm.
I think Laura, if we had something that blocked our path or an obstacle, we needed to find our way around a path. Laura has improvisation as a skill, so if we needed to, turn our plan around on a dime, Laura can help with that.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody want to take a devil's bargain or no? Okay, I see your rolls. So I'm gonna
Yeah, I
assume
already
no.
rolled, and I think I'm good.
No worries, no worries. Now, is your dark die equal to or higher than your highest light die? So, yes, for Laura, your dark die is higher, and yes, for Kel, your dark die is higher. And then for both of you, your dark die higher than your current ruin. No, Kel, you're gonna take a ruin, I believe. Yeah, you're gonna take 1 ruin because your dark die is higher than your current ruin. You rolled a 5, your current ruin is a 3. So please mark 1 over there. As for you, Laura, you're actually fine.
Yeah.
In this case, meets does not beats. And you're fine. You're great. However, you won't be able to help navigate. With a 3, you fail. 3 being your highest roll, you fail, and it's just really hard to improvise with nothing.
Yeah.
The forest is giving you nothing. The things that you brought, is also giving nothing, and perhaps you also feel a bit worried over Revel right now, who seems to you seems to have given up. She's just laying there on the horse, not even moving the horse. In fact, you are maybe maneuvering the horse for her, thus impeding your improvisational skills. Jesus. However, Kel, you succeed. With a 5, you succeed. You are able to navigate. However, there is a complication. I want to give you a condition for it. So, can you do me a favor and just roll 2d6, doesn't matter the color, so I can give you a condition.
Two d6 for me.
No, for Kel.
Oh, for Kel. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled
Yeah.
them. That's like a 6 together, or both are 3.
Oh, they're both 3. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kel, there is no easy way to explain this. You suddenly lose hearing. The only thing you can hear right now are high-pitched whistles. The whistles sound like they're coming from people. Whistling to get your attention. Whistling to give you in order. Sort of like when you were walking earlier and you could hear sniveling cries and screams. Now it's just whistling, and your ears are just so focused on the whistling that you follow it and you guide your party to the next location. That being a very rundown inn. We're on ring 3, everybody. Do we want to take a break? Welcome back. Probably. We're back from our break. We are in ring 3, everybody. Ring 3, because I like to tell y'all what rings you're in. Here we go. The forest begins to thin, and paths are suddenly widening out. Cal, you lead the team, your party, past these trees which sprout from rusted armor. The branches twisted to look like arms, actually. You can also see alongside some of the other strange depictions, there is a recently deceased man pinned to a tree by a storm of arrows, of which you can guess the direction, but you can also tell that these arrows are long since eroded. Perhaps battles that happen here don't ever stop. That is what traces along your minds as you continue towards this inn. Now, the inn does not look that welcoming, y'all. It's old. It is run down. It is honestly cold and barren, and it looks like it's barely standing, but you're very tired. You all feel tired. The walking on uneven ground, the sounds that you hear but you can't place where they're coming from. Every temptation that was placed before you, every argument or banter, it's all starting to weigh on you, and you need rest.
Yes, we should prepare something to eat. I can definitely cook us something, although we are getting a bit low on our rations. And he is a cook by occupation, so he has probably cooked in general while we've been traveling together, I would imagine. Hopefully, I don't know if this inn is occupied, but hopefully we can make use of it.
As you approach the inn, it is not occupied. You guys seem to be the only ones here. And, well, it clearly was once occupied, that much you can tell. There is a place for you to set a campfire. And this place does look like it's been used before. How long ago, you're unsure, but this seems to be like a waypoint of some sort. Multiple people have clearly found this place and have taken refuge of some sort in here. The battles outside are what seems really weary and honestly dreadful, but they're what's left behind and then taken over by time. How recently that is, you all cannot tell. But this is unfortunately the best you can do.
Yeah, we should probably try and rest up here. Seems at least safer than staying in the wood.
At the talk of inns, Revel does look up from where she's been laying along Chrysanthemum's neck. It kind of rests her cheek on the highest point and looks over at it. Is there a stable?
Mm, yes and no. I think it's not. I think there was a stable, but the stable's not stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, your chrysanthemum would have to stay outside. That it's just really there's like while the walls are decrepit and stuff, but just not big enough for a horse to walk in. You can keep her close by though, if you wish.
I mean, we could just take her inside. Nobody's here. Who cares? If you'd feel safer, I think I might.
Kill, can we take her inside?
I first need to ask a storyteller if I still do not hear anything.
Oh, that's right.
I think for the purpose of this, you can hear things, but your ability to comprehend what you hear is difficult because it's constant. People's words are constantly being interrupted by the whistling. So what I'm telling you is interpret anything the way you
Yeah.
want to interpret it.
Okay. Oh, let's just get inside. Revel, can you come down and we're getting inside?
Rebel sits up and she's still got the haversack of their things clutched to her chest, and she'll pass them down to Kel and then slide off the horse.
Laura would, if no one else was, just lead the horse inside, and yeah, would go inside and start prepping. I feel good about this place, he says as he pats his pouch full of trinket and scroll and goes, I think we're gonna be okay. I can feel her with us.
Rebel visibly rolls her eyes, but she doesn't say anything.
There's
You
no
all,
one with us.
What?
Oh,
There's
Hold
no
for
one
drama.
with us, right?
Someone with us?
There's no one with us, but you had said there was some.
The lady. She's with us. Are you all right?
Oh, right. Yeah, that. Sure.
Rebel is walking. Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say let's get the fire started. I was gonna start puttering.
So, Rebel has the cloak clutched around her. She's been holding it increasingly more tight, like it's some sort of shield, not only to the elements, but to whatever else is going on. And she's going to start wandering around the inn. Are there adjoining rooms, or is it just one giant area?
It's one giant area. I think if there were adjoining rooms, the walls have crumbled down, or if you were to open some, you may find like bones of corpses that used to be there. It's not exactly desirable for privacy. In fact, I think you might feel a little bit more comfortable being around closer to the fire where there is light and where there's at least two other people plus a horse.
Yeah. Okay, she learns that lesson very quickly, and does path back. She stops and checks on Chrysanthemum, patting her on the shoulder, and then curls up in a sitting position wherever is closest to Kel.
As you're all kind of here, preparing for the night ahead, I'm gonna ask you all, what did you leave behind to get to here? What did you leave behind, perhaps at home, perhaps before your destination here?
Revel left everything. She left everything she owned, other than what she was wearing. She left her station. She left the bits of solace she did have in life. So her pastimes, her research, a cushy existence, objectively. And this is probably one of the few times that she hasn't slept in a bed. It's rough. I feel like even on their travels, they'd been able to sell enough of what they did have to purchase a night at a tavern, at an inn, even asking to stay with a local for the night. But this is truly roughing it, and she's feeling it.
And you did it all for your heiress, right?
Eris is a good destination, but I think she left it all behind for her first taste of freedom.
Was it worth it?
I think despite everything, Revel would rather be here. She would rather die in this forest than have to be subjected to the life she was forced to live.
And that steals you for the moment. Kel, what did you leave behind?
My purpose, if as far as I knew it. The pride I felt when I found my drive, found my passion as the knight. Getting the feeling of, just fully knowing you're doing good and you're helping people, and you don't need to question anything. It's all just so very simple, or it was all just so very simple. You get orders. It's drilled into you what you should and shouldn't believe. And there is such pride and calm that comes with that kind of work. A certainty, a goal in life, you keep working, you prove yourself, you go up in rank, maybe you move to another city, maybe you become personal guard of someone. One day teach younger knights yourself, train them, and all of that is left behind for an existence of searching and uncertainty and trying to cling on to stuff you do know or people you do know.
Was it worth it?
When they look at Revel, they're reminded that it will be worth it in the end.
Laura, same question. What did you leave behind?
If you were to ask him, he would probably say everything, but also nothing, because he thinks that everything belongs to the church. I mean, he has no possessions. They took what items he had in his care. They took from him before he left. But his entire purpose is to get back there, and that's the only thing that's really on his mind. And he doesn't even know, they didn't send him on this quest. He doesn't know that getting this artifact is going to return him to become a squire again on the path to knighthood in service of Nevia, but he believes that it is his only chance. So there is no doubt in his mind that it was the right choice. It's the only choice for him.
All right. I don't think I need to ask you if it's worth it because you basically answered it. You all feel somewhat comforted by your thoughts when you reflect on what has happened and where you are, and it eases you for a few moments. Is there anything you'd like to do before you go to bed?
Whenever Kel starts to get comfortable for sleep, Revel is constantly in that vicinity. And when they do, everybody does try to like lay down and finally get some rest, close their eyes, some well-deserved slumber. She like curls up next to them and ooches little bit by little bit until there's some physical contact, some grounding touch to where she knows for sure, eyes closed even, that she's not alone. And if Cal doesn't pull away, eventually she will roll over once she can ascertain that hopefully Laura is asleep. Do you want me to hold that so other people can do their rest stuff and then we'll do middle of the night stuff? Okay.
You're good to go for me then.
At this point, Kel is so distracted by like the noises and like the whistles in his ears that it's basically just a matter of, I hope with some rest maybe it'll get better. So it's not like once they know that the area is safe, like the house is safe, they would do a check on that, make sure that there's nothing like no hidden spots where arrows could be shot from. That's basically the only thing they would do before everyone like settles down.
So when Revel gets at least some indication that Laura is asleep, whether that's a nice little snore, whether that's a very even rise and fall of the chest, or even just the appearance of sleep, I don't think she's being incredibly discreet. She has scooted up to where she is touching Cal, and she'll gently tap on their shoulder, and her little face is like not on them, but curled up next to them, like resting on her arm as a pillow. Cal, are you awake?
When Revel starts tapping, they do roll over and look at them laying there. Yeah, I'm awake.
She glances over at Laura once more. Do you think they can find us here?
For me, I don't think anyone's gonna set foot in here. For you, I think it's just best that we get out of this forest as fast as possible and travel through. And if they do have to follow, I'm just hoping that they have a tougher time.
Maybe I should cut my hair or something. She kind of like uses the other hand and toys with it in her fingers. There's a sad cast to her features, but I don't know what else to do anymore. I guess maybe if we go far enough, that'll be good enough.
Think a haircut's gonna change how recognizable you are.
Well, maybe I die. Can do that, right? I'm sure there's.
Your hair is not the prettiest thing about you, I don't.
Oh, what else should I do?
You just keep moving, little bird.
We've already gone so. I don't remember the last time we had a proper hot meal, like something that was more than something somebody stirred around in a pot. God knows how long. So, whatever they had in, I'm not ungrateful. Please don't think me ungrateful. But it'll be nice to have something a little more than this again.
Why did you do it? If you dislike all of this.
You watch the openness of her posture, the way that she was just very relaxed and at ease, and that tucks in, almost concave, and her eyes avert. You know why? I figured it has to be common knowledge at this point. She's looking at everything but their face.
Hand is moved towards where Revel is laying, and just a gloved finger touches and pokes into Revel's chest near her heart. Just once and stays there. I'll take that back. 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's so good though.
Hand moves and reaches over. A gloved finger poking into Revel's chest above her heart. And they say, then you focus on that feeling of freedom instead of missing good food and a warm bed. And you just focus on what's ahead and what you know is gonna come for you, the good things. Stop fearing that they're gonna get you, because if you keep fearing, you're not gonna live your life.
And I've already given him more than enough.
This one's yours.
She looks Kel straight in the eyes. I'm glad he's dead. And I would do it again. she averts them and lets them fall back. She doesn't ever move their hand away.
Kel opens their arms in a gesture that invites someone for like a hug kind of thing, but they're still laying. So it's just a comforting thing of like, you can come closer if you want to.
You watch her eyes flick back, and she does a very quick appraisal of the offer. She hesitates a half second and then kind of scrumbles across the floor quick, like into a safety net. And she tucks her arms into her chest, flat flush to Kel, and lets them wrap arms around her back, and she just nestles her face into the crook of their neck and cries quietly.
Last thing that Kel will say is, we might want to consider leaving him behind.
Her
He's a liability.
breathing evens for a second. The crying at a pause. And you can just feel her nod. It's not so much that she is saying, yes, I think this. It's a deference. It's trust placed in Kel's opinion that Kel's gonna take care of this and her.
I'm gonna pause, leave you both there in each other's. Honestly, it is a warm embrace because it's so fucking cold. The fire does not help with the chill. We're just gonna move over to Laura for a little bit. Laura, you're sleeping. And then you're dreaming. And then you don't have. You do not. Your dreams are very vivid right now. There is no scene that plays out. Not really. Just moments. You see the backs of familiar people. You see a statue of your lady, depicted in her simple clothes, in her warm embrace of just giving, of servitude, giving everything, her all. A statue that perhaps you admire very greatly in the town, the city, the village, wherever it is you grew up, whatever moved you to devote yourself entirely to her. And then in the voice of a friend, if he ever was your friend, you hear, only a heart unstained by temptation is a vessel fit to carry the lady's grace. And that wakes you up. And beside you, as you turn perhaps from one side to another, you see yet another familiar figure. What's that barmaid look like? That tavern wench who seduced you?
Just long auburn hair, just wearing the common, very common attire, I would say. She was beautiful, but it was more so that she flirted with him a lot and enjoyed teasing him. Yeah. so he sees her.
And in that little, perhaps sing-song voice, though it does come out, excuse me, sounding a bit more like Revel's voice. You hear, "You better check that bag of yours. It's looking quite empty." And now you wake up. The fire has gone out. Where did you keep your items?
In my pouch. I would have been near me. I probably would have taken it off of
It's
myself
so
to
light.
sleep. He'll
It's so
frantically
light.
open
It's
the bag.
Empty. Gone. In fact, you see perhaps sparkles of magic, like dust, golden dust, blue dust. You're not sure, but it's gone. It's empty. Please make a ruin roll.
2.
2, that is
Less. I'm okay.
less than, right? So you
Getting lucky.
panic and then you stop yourself. Because there really is only one answer where it could have gone, right?
Well,
2 items. You travel with 2 people.
yeah. 2 answers, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And those 2 people are now, for lack of better terms, cuddling. You know where they are. My 2 people.
And I look over to them. I mean, is that I just see them?
You see them, though I will say, Kel and Revel, you also both kind of stir awake as maybe when you, in your sleep, as you roll over, you hit something that's, I don't know, unpleasant, like it jabs you in the side, or perhaps you move a bit and your hand smacks something that just, like that kind of hurt.
You probably
As you
hear
wake
me
up.
rummaging around too, because I'm not. If I think it's lost, I'm not quiet about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm gonna ask you both. Which item of the 2 did you guys really want? Laura had 2 items. And
The
sure,
ring and
you
the
didn't want
scroll.
it.
Yeah.
You want the scroll?
I think there was the ring and the scroll.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take whatever Kel doesn't want.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just randomly decide them because for Kel, it's
Yeah.
just the fact that he took these 2 items, like, just both of them are like dangerous or whatever.
Mhm.
So literally, we can say that I have the ring and you have the scroll. If I don't think either of us really care what item it
Yeah.
is.
So, you don't care about it? Excuse me. So you don't care about it. You really, really don't. But deep down, I think you did. I think somewhere, one of you wants purpose. And you're waiting for that purpose to, be a reality. The other one, you left everything for freedom. But you're also going to someone. You're just trading one master for the next. And are you really worth the trouble? Well, now you're certain you are worth the trouble because you have something. I'm gonna say that you have the ring, Revel, and Kel, you have the scroll. Just that way, it fits a little bit narratively. The ring is on your finger. It's wooden. It's wrapped around, and it's perfect. And as for you, Kel, the scroll jabbed at your side, and when you look at it, it's that same symbol from your trinket. You see it decorating around the wood of the scroll that holds it together. The seal, sure, there's a chalice, but there's that sun. That sunset or sunrise. You see it. Laura is rummaging around.
When they
I'm gonna,
wake up. Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give you both of you specifically, a moment to do something before I give Laura, a moment to do something, and then we are approaching ring 4. I'm just giving y'all moments to react before ring 4 happens.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, I feel like when they wake up, Cal kind of moves away and takes away their arms, not really lingering there, and kind of straightens up, flexes a little bit because sleeping with armor is not the most comfortable thing. Notices the ring as they detach. Notices the ring on the Revel's finger. Notices the scroll in their pocket. And says, well, at least we got sleep without any issues. Best be on our way. Everyone okay?
Rebel sits up, and she's kind of groggily taking stock of their surroundings. She's kind of giving a puzzled, lingering look to Laura. She doesn't understand what's going on yet. And she
No
does
one was in
kind of
here.
notice.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You can keep going.
Was anyone in here last night? No,
I mean,
doesn't seem like
where
it.
in? Are you asking if somebody like came in from outside?
Things have been taken from me while I slept. There's only... Of course. No, of course, the lady would test
What are
me.
you looking for?
You know, to resist temptation is the path to salvation.
That can't be what you're looking
You know,
for. Did you lose
those who seek
items?
the light must first walk in the shadow of their own failings. You must repent.
Laura, you didn't take anything that was yours. You didn't lose anything that was yours.
I had the ring and the scroll. You saw me take the scroll.
And those weren't yours. You took them.
And that
Those
made it
aren't
okay.
your items.
That made it okay for you to take it from me? Your companion?
Rebel looks at her hand, and she seems a little puzzled, but it's caught between polar ends of absolute confusion and admiration. It looks nice on her hand. She has no idea how it got there.
And then you'll
What if it
notice
did?
that she's displaying it now. Proof. You have my item.
I don't know how this got here. Why would I want your silly ring?
I don't know. I don't care.
Didn't we tell you not to take this in the first place? You went behind our backs after Kel told you? Well, I guess they said you could do whatever you wanted, but you said you weren't going to take it.
I thought
What else
better
have you
of
been
it.
taking?
I found a scroll. Clearly an ancient scroll from one of the holy knights of Nevia. Another accounting of her journey. I must bring it back. This alone could be worth my readmittance to the order. You could not take this from me. How in good conscience could you?
Kel, what does that scroll say?
No clue.
Is
But
it...
I think, Laura, you can find your own way back, and this might be a good place to split path. Don't you think so?
Because clearly you don't take our advice. So why should we walk around with a thief like you and a liability? Why should I put Revel in that danger?
Find it hard for you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, before you can get your thoughts out, Laura, with these accusations being thrown around, Chrysanthemum lets out one hell of a wail as hands, question mark, begin to rip through the wood, the floorboards. They come from the ceiling, which you're like, why the fuck is there a ceiling? You're pretty sure it wasn't there before. They come from the walls. They come from the trees. The dead have begun to awaken. They are wearing armors of many different nations. Some of them aren't wearing armors at all. They are treasure hunters like you. They are adventurers like you. They are farmers. They are women. They are children. They crawl out and they start to, I would say chase, but are you guys going to run?
Revel screams.
It's in a weird
I think you all
spot.
should make a ruin roll.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'll yeah, I think
There he
either
goes.
way we're in this room. And it's not logical to stay in a closed off room when things are trying to get at you.
Yep.
So I think the plan for Kel is to get Revel on the horse and get like out of there.
Well, he's gonna follow them
sure.
because they have his scroll. So
Make sure you do your ruin rolls. I see Laura, I see.
I
All
went up
right,
by
you
one.
all mark ruin. You all
Yeah.
mark a point of ruin. You will all take your thing. Kel, you're at 5, correct?
Yes.
I will give you another thing as well. You are all going to take conditions now. Please, everybody, doesn't matter the dice, just roll 2d6 so that way I can determine what type of conditions you guys get.
It's a 5 and a 5.
3 and a 3.
4 and a 2.
Okay. Oh, where is this? Okay, so 3 and a 3 already happened. I'm just gonna go move 1 up. For you, Revel, movement becomes heavier and harder, as if overcome by armor and fatigue. You are already riddled with anxiety. You feel, despite resting, you feel so much more tired than before. It's as if you didn't rest at all. It's as if seeing all this horde, the cold has seeped into your bones, and despite you commanding your feet to walk, it doesn't walk at the pace that you're used to. So you could just put like fatigued or slowed, because that would make sense.
I put fatigue / encumbered.
Encumbered is also really good, yes. We already did that one. Wow.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's do this one. Kel, you begin to have memories, or I would say visions, perhaps visions of the future. You began to see a myriad of ways that you will die. You will die a violent death. You are certain of this. You see the hands reaching for you, grabbing you, suffocating you. You see the skeletal soldier of an enemy nation decapitate you. You see the horse go out of control and stomp you to death. Every way that you can fathomably see as a way out also now glaringly becomes a way that you can die. And I'm just gonna say visions of death is your condition. Laura. 1 second. I like this one for you.
Okay.
I like this one for you. It's gonna be painful. I'm also just like copy pasting so that way y'all can read the thing properly. But Laura, every touch, even a handshake, a hug, a helping hand, you now see as an act of aggression.
Okay. I'll call that "Don't touch me."
You for lack of better terms, you're all jump scared. You didn't expect this. You didn't see this. Your body is reacting in ways that you don't want it to react, but this is unfortunately your stress response. This is what you do. Fight, flight, freeze. It would appear that you are all freezing in this moment as they kind of start to clamor all around you. You are now going to be presented with something here. As one of the walls is basically gives way through all of this wreckage, through all of this chaos. It basically just the wood just starts to come undone and it breaks through, and through the hands, through the corpses, you see this beacon of light far off in the distance. But you can see it. It's almost as if the trees have cleared a path for you. Perhaps you are in a battleground right now. You see a beacon of light. All of you understand that is the way out. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna. No matter what, I want to get a Ravel as quickly on that horse as possible.
I'm following Kel. I assume that they have the scroll. And that's my eyes are on that, at least if they're leaving. He's just gonna follow.
Revel has to be like picked up, dragged to her feet, and almost bodily shoved onto Chrysanthemum. She's getting tangled in her cloak. She is very visibly panicking. She's not fighting Kel at all. In fact, I'm sure she's trying to get her feet underneath her, but there is a very visible lack of coordination. There is something that's not firing between her brain and her limbs, and she is probably saying something. You can see her mouth moving, but I feel like a lot of it is drowned out by what's going on and the panic, and she keeps screaming.
While this is happening, I actually must now offer Kel, who's at 5 ruin, a reduction roll. The reduction roll is when you act in the forest, me, when you act in my interest. As in, you get to sabotage people. Would you like to do that so that way you can attempt to get your ruin back to 4? You can pick who you sabotage. You can do an AoE of sabotaging, or, you know.
I'm really doubting. Above table, to check real quick with everyone here. Would it be okay if only one person gets out of here and does the rest of the story alive?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Basically, what will happen is with your roll, and then if you choose to do so, I will still make the other 2 perform risk rolls to see can they get out of here unscratched, and such. But your sabotage is gonna be big. if you choose to do so. There's also a chance where you don't remove any ruin, but that's truly if you want to be noticed or not, and we will get to that once we do make the roll. But regardless, this is like a big sabo, you know? This is like the equivalent of straight up stabbing a person.
You know what? I'll make it more interesting, and I'll keep the plan I have as a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the I'll act in the forest's interest
Amazing.
to I'm not gonna sabotage everyone because I genuinely don't have a reason to sabotage Revel. So
So you wish
knowing
to sabotage only Laura.
yes, because as I already said, he's a liability.
Mm-hmm. Please roll one light die and tell me what you wish to do. How are you sabotaging Laura here?
I rolled a 4 on that light die, and once I've pushed Revel onto the horse so that they can hopefully quickly move out of the way here. I know that Laura is following. Even feeling that his posture is kind of in this mode of you have something that's mine and there's danger all around us, but I'm following and I'm not gonna leave you behind. Like this determination. They quickly decide, okay, this is a liability, and all around me are perfect traps ready to be sprung. Grabbing for stuff, literally, hands open and reaching. And they will just, as they hoist Revel onto the horse, Laura coming up behind them, they will pommel first with their swords, swing out their arm into Laura's forehead so that they fall back into the arms reaching up to grab something.
Your light die is less than your current ruin. Your betrayal goes unnoticed, and you may remove one ruin, so you're back to 4.
I feel like
Laura.
I probably noticed though if she hit me in the face.
In this case, it could have been. In this case, you must assume that it is accidental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because
I
I,
know.
hoisted them on the horse that my heart.
Yeah,
I'm just,
you
oops.
She just went whoops.
Literally. No, literally,
Oh my
literally.
God.
That's how
Love that.
that's how you read it. You, Laura, you're running. You're choosing to follow,
Yeah.
and you follow a little too closely. And you get hit in the face. You stumble back. I am going to allow you to do a risk roll to see how far behind you are. And for Revel, I would like you to do a risk roll to get the fuck out. In this case, it's can you control Chrysanthemum to get out? Hell, do you want to be on the horse? Or are you running?
I'll, if I have a quick moment, I'll try to jump onto the horse behind Revel so that I could help steer.
You were successful, so I would allow that. If you wish to actually make a help roll to help Revel, I will also allow that because Revel still needs to make a risk roll regardless, and you can both still expose yourself to danger. Whereas, Laura, your risk roll will be how far behind you are. You are not dead yet because you're at 4 ruin. It really is just how much of a hindrance are these monsters now. So,
Yes.
I rolled a 1.
no, you need to also include a dark die in this one
Oh.
because you guys are risking your life here. So, if you would
Oh,
like to take a
shit.
devil's bargain, please let me know.
At this point, there's no point in taking it if I rolled a 6 already on a dark die, right?
Yeah, there is no point. I mean, you
Okay.
can always re-roll and
So I've
take
got
another
5
dark
now.
die. 5? Okay, that's fine.
I've got 5
You will
ruins.
still be successful, by the way. A
Mhm.
6 is a success with no drawbacks, but because it's higher, you will mark a ruin. Revel, I need you to make the risk roll as well. 1 light, 1 dark, and I need to know, Kel, are you gonna help? Do you want to make a help roll?
Yeah, actually.
Okay. Kel, just roll a light die, 1 light die. And Revel, you wait for a second.
I rolled a 3.
Let's see. Roll. Oh,
Yeah, give it a second, and then let's go back from you
Mhm.
rolled a 3. That's the last thing I heard before it cut off.
yeah, same thing, same. All right, so you rolled a 3. Revel, now, what skills are you using to control a horse?
Flattery.
I'll take it. I will
She
absolutely
is telling
take it.
Chrysanthemum what a good horse she is. She is strong. She is fast. She is beautiful.
Mhm.
She can do this. She's like leaning down and like soothing her and patting her on the neck.
Absolutely, you are.
She did give them a name.
You name them. In a way, you are the master. So then roll 1 light die and 1 dark die.
I have that roll just prior to Syrinx's. It's a 4 light and a nice little deer for the dark.
Oh, that's 6. 1 second. Your light die doesn't. Okay, that's good. So you rolled a 3 though, right, to help?
Yeah.
All right. You're given the option here, Revel. Do you want to re-roll your dark die at all? Because you do have a help. If you re-roll it, because right now your highest die is the dark die, it's a 6. It would be a success.
Yeah.
So that means you could always just take the ruin and do that. If you choose to re-roll, there's a way. Like basically, are you gonna finagle the math in a way to get a success without upping your ruin? That is the vibe.
I feel like it makes sense to take Ruin here. This is a lot of psychic damage.
Oh yeah,
Watching
absolutely.
all of this go on around you, having to flee for your life, period, much less flee for your life from a bunch of dead people. So I'm gonna take it because I think thematically it fits.
You're gonna take it. You're at 5. You're at 5. You're at 5 ruin. There's 2 people at 5 ruin. And luckily, Cal takes no extra damage or extra ruin for helping. You are successful. You drive this horse. In fact, you're making great time following this light. Laura, you defer a little bit because you got knocked in the head, and maybe the undead start to grab at you. But why the fuck are they touching you? Doesn't matter. You have a purpose, you have a mission, and you are, by God, literally protected by your lady's light. You start running. You are all gonna leave whatever provisions, by the way, you have left behind. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's it, sorry. But you start booking it. Undead things hang on to you, and you brush them off. This is a sprint. This is one hell of a sprint, and you're making great time. Ditching all of those things, you are lighter in weight now. You feel like you're fucking flying with how fast you're running. Okay, my guy is Usain Bolt at this point. I wouldn't say you're keeping up with the horse, but you are just behind them. You can't jump on the horse or anything. It's a horse, but you know where you're headed. It's towards that light, that beacon. You are both at level 5 ruin. I can offer you both reduction rolls before we reach the 5th ring. Is there any way you would like to sabotage the other, or would you like to hold on to 5 ruin?
Have I caught up with them yet? Like, what is the situation right now?
you are
we still
behind.
running?
You are running. You have to keep running at this
Okay.
point. If you stray for too long, if you pause for too long, the dead is behind you.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
another thing.
Yeah. I guess I would. No. I'm not going to right now. I'm not gonna do it right now.
You're gonna hold on to it?
No. Yeah. I don't think it would be a good idea.
You can hold on to I will offer you a reduction roll, perhaps.
Plus, he's scared out of his mind. Like there's being single-minded towards a goal, and then there's almost being pulled down to a horde of zombies, and you're you think things a little differently after that.
Revel, do you want to do anything to sabotage?
I'm not sure she's noticed that Laura isn't with them yet. I think that this is an incredibly mad scramble, and I think she will notice soon, but at this point, I don't, and Kel is who's keeping her safe. If she doesn't have Kel, she's as good as dead in this forest. So, I will keep my 5 ruin.
We'll move on to the 5th ring. Jesus Christ. As you approach it, you all begin to
go back a
notice
little bit? I
it
think
is
we cut.
coming from...
Can you start that bit over again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little...
Of course. As you begin to approach the light, you realize that it is coming from a very large funeral pyre within a small fort town, preserved well against the elements. The gates are wide open. You can enter. And as you do, you realize that the dead of the forest... You're still in the forest, by the way. The dead seem to stop following you. You enter. Laura, you are not far behind. You will also get to enter. And you see this town is bustling. The people here seem alive and well. I'm gonna offer the reduction rolls one last time to my 2 people with 5 ruin before we get to the final contested roll.
Are we having a chance to maybe get our bearings together? Have we do we have a moment to talk, or is this going to just be a...
You can choose to talk, but you might not get a chance to reduce your ruin.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna... You know what? No, I'm not gonna take the opportunity right now. I want to make sure that... yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I think Revel is too focused on, oh my god, civilization. I don't know what this nightmare is, but there is this actual and figurative beacon of light in the middle of it. And so her thoughts are not on sabotage or betrayal. She's not trying to like gatekeep this salvation. She's just really grateful to not have been zombie food.
You have time to talk if you would like, as you kind of, all three of you are now here.
I just wanted to apologize for how I behaved back there. It wasn't fitting.
I'm assuming when we get in here, and it seems like we don't have to keep running, I do get off the horse. And even offer to help Revel off the horse. Turning
Just
to
light off.
Laura. I'm keeping a distance from him. And making sure that Laura also, making sure that Revel also is a distance from him. Eyeing him.
His gaze, he averts your eyes. I was not acting as one should who follows the path. And you're right. Those don't belong to me. And I don't need them. I'm here for a single purpose. I shouldn't have been so aggressive about it. I apologize.
Well, then I guess you are safe here, it seems, for now. I guess you be on your way and we'll be on our way. If you're all fine with everything.
I understand. My church, the lady, she preaches for tenets. Their hospitality, service, purity, and sacrifice. And I don't have much to offer, but if you would, for my own atonement, please accept some offer of my hospitality. And he is going to reach into his cloak and produce a couple of apples.
Are you casting a ritual?
I am casting my ritual.
You will have to make a risk roll.
Oh.
You
Okay.
can, food is a skill that you have, so are
Food?
poisons.
Yes.
Yeah. And you may choose either one. Either way, I'm gonna for sure give you that light die. Would you like to take a devil's bargain for another light die?
So what is the risk here? Because I'm at 5 ruin, right?
If you take another ruin, you die.
Yeah. So if I will have to roll a dark die.
Always, yep, regardless, you have to roll the dark die. So
Okay. So am I rolling one light and one dark, and then if would I add another light die if I take the bargain?
if you take a bargain, yeah.
Okay. What's the bargain? I
You
need
two
this.
can also, the other players can also offer a condition here.
Mhm.
The idea is what Bijan is gonna get out of it is the light die. That is the positive. We get to add a negative, and you get to choose which one you want.
Right.
My condition for you is that you will bear the mark of a sinner.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what that is. You're pious, your faith, whatever they deem the mark of a sinner is, you're gonna bear it.
That's huge. That's great. Oh, I don't know if I could take that.
Will you lose your faith, huh?
I don't know. That's up to you, right?
Is it like on my forehead, or is it like, on
Where am I
my
wearing
back,
it?
where I can?
Where am I wearing it?
That's.
Like, can I hide it?
Can I hide it? Can I
they
cover it
on
up tastefully?
I mean, like in theory, yes, but it's just always gonna be on that forehead.
Does my character? So let me ask this: does my character know this bargain, or is this above table? Like, is my character knowing?
It's going to it's gonna suddenly happen. Basically,
It's gonna but I mean, because in character, I feel like this is something he would never make. But above the table,
The idea is that you don't know.
Okay.
Like,
So I might take this. I might
it's-
take this one then.
Yeah,
But
you
if it was
might
like a
take
conscious
it,
choice, he would never take that. That would
yeah,
never work.
in this case, you have lost your chance at making a conscious choice. You know what I
Got it.
mean? You are taking the risk, and whatever happens, like of the risk, it has to be worth your reward. That's what you think,
Okay.
But the other two can offer you other other conditions.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just one of ours. It's not
Yes.
everyone.
I can tell you, I will definitely take that if the other two are not more amenable.
So
Yeah, I was about to say.
yeah, so it's optional for the other players to offer you a condition instead.
Oh, you don't have
But if
to
they choose
offer.
not to, then this is your
I
only
shouldn't have said
offer,
that then.
and
I
you-
should have waited for them to make their.
No, but it's obvious to everyone. It's doesn't matter if you said it.
Okay. So I'll
So
just do
I'm
that
gonna-
one then, unless anybody suggests another.
Mhm.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm like Emma's thinking.
Oh, I don't know if. Yeah, you're probably gonna take the Aki's. But I was about to say, I don't know how vague we can be with these.
You can be so vague, and you can also be so specific because it's up to the
Okay.
other player who has the conditions to play around with them.
Okay. Because in my mind, I'm playing with the idea of the condition that, like, I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but you're forever gonna be lost. And you're never gonna you're never gonna reach your goal. You're never
Un-
gonna be accepted back in the church.
I would say the condition would be called unsatisfied.
Like, just the fact that you'll never be accepted back.
Yeah.
You'll always be lost. That's like my idea.
Yeah. That it's the idea, it's the feeling as well, like let's say Laura was accepted. If Laura lives, Laura's not gonna think that they're accepted. Basically, that's imposter syndrome, the condition.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a
So
really
you have
good one.
sin. Yeah, you got sin and you got imposter syndrome. Emma, do you want to drop one?
Y'all's are so much meaner than mine. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is too nice. Not that I want you to be a painter or whatever, but I think with the way that the narrative has been progressing, it wouldn't be unreasonable for Laura to feel convicted that this pair is part of his journey and that protecting them, helping them reach their ends, is somehow intrinsic to him finding redemption. Because they've pointed out over and again, tested his faith, and by sticking with them, he's managed to come out on top over and again. They're a part of his journey, and he is more and more convinced that it's the lady's will.
Okay.
If that makes
Holy
sense.
shit.
That's that I call that duty bound, oath bound. That works. Those are your three.
That's gonna conflict like immediately with what I'm about to do.
Exactly.
I like that. I do think though. I think I'm gonna go with what Syrinx offered there. I think that he is never gonna be fully satisfied. Like even if he makes it back into the order, like doing what he's about to do in itself is such a heavy act. Like yeah. He's I like that. I like that feeling like maybe he'll never get back in. Maybe he will, but it won't. He'll never be fully accepted. Maybe he won't ever be able to become a knight. You know, maybe he will end up in a monastery as a monk like he feared. Oh, I cannot hear you. What happened?
You're muted.
My bad.
Oh,
I turned
okay.
my mic off. Please gain the condition unsatisfied, and you may take a second light dice. So you'll roll 2 light, 1 dark. And we pray to God that you fucking live.
2 5s and a 3 with the dark die. So I think I live. I do live.
You live, and you will succeed, but there is a complication. What ritual are you trying to do? Specifically
Orchard.
Again. Orchard.
So I can
You-
conjure like dozens of apples with
And some are
some of them
poisonous.
are poisonous.
So, I will say, just roll 1 light die and 1 dark die, and we will determine the light die will be not poisonous, like how many apples are not poisonous, and the dark die will be how many apples are poisonous.
Okay.
You will know which apples are poisonous and not poisonous, by the way. It's just how many show up.
6 and 4. So 6 unpoisoned, 4 poisoned.
All right. That's how many you have. What apple are you offering?
I'm going through with it. I already started this path. I'm gonna give them each a poisoned apple.
We both have been offered a poison apple.
From a person who we already think is a liability.
I'm just trying to atone here. It's in the nature of the lady to offer a gift.
Sure, and you can offer it to people who need it. I already said what I said. You can be on your way if you're so sorry, and we'll be on ours. Take the offer as well, I would say.
You won't share with me.
All right. We have reached probably the last roll of the game. This is a contest roll. How this next part here is going to work will be a very fun little who gets the liver die. You 3 are kind of in a weird, strange standstill. There are 2 apples, and by my general assumption of what Kel is saying, Kel is also telling you, Laura, to eat an apple.
Oh no!
No, she's saying she doesn't want the apples.
Kel is threatening, like
Oh, threatening.
like subtly threatening Laura that this is his chance to walk away.
Ah,
Like
all right.
Kel
Then
at
this
the
is-
cabin, Kel was ready to like take Laura out. It didn't happen. They came here and Laura started talking and stuff. So Kel is now offering Laura a chance to just walk away and live.
All right, okay.
That's
We'll do
what's
it.
happening.
Then we'll do it this way. We'll do it this way. Whoever wins this contest roll, it will be determined as if Laura wins, you guys are eating an apple. If Cal wins, separate ways.
It's like a
If Revel
persuasion.
wins-
If I win, then you believe my sincerity,
Yes, that's what's going to happen.
or you don't.
You will
see-
believe you. Yeah, you will be persuaded to believe each other through winning. And Revel, if you win, I'll do something fun with you.
I'll ask because I'm assuming your the intention here is that 2 people are left behind and 1 person can go forward, right?
Yeah, but you all could also just die here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'll ask that if I win, that I get to narrate that Laura and me stay behind, and that Revel gets to go. I don't need to go.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I would say that if you agree to this, that if the roll goes against my favor, Laura will become belligerent again and maybe prompt you to, attack me or whatever.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
you will
this is-
surely win. Like I said, he can barely lift the
This-
sword on his back.
So this next part, how it kind of works is that it will lead into the epilogues. So that means you guys really do get to narrate what happens next. This roll determines who wins. And if there are multiple winners or only losers. And for you, Revel, you get to decide what happens if you win then. Does that sound good?
I also have my glamour. Oh, I have to roll risk to do that.
You would
don't
have to
I?
roll risk. Yep, and you have the option of dying. You could do it before the contest roll, but you could also just straight up fucking die.
Just expire at that point. Oof.
I don't want to take away Laura's chance to win, so I'm not gonna use my ritual.
Okay.
No, if you have
Yeah, we'll call it
something.
like that.
I was planning to use it this entire time, and like,
I think you
Like,
should. If you have
make
something that
something
negates this
dramatic.
whole thing.
but I don't want to. So that would take away probably both mine and your chances to win.
It's okay.
That's how this game works. Yeah.
All right. If everyone is cool with that, then I will try to use my ritual, being bind, as this whole situation with the apples happens, and as I politely suggest that Laura leaves, and they seem hesitant to, holding their apples in their hands. Kel really does look at Laura as a liability, and they weren't able to lose him back in the cabin, back in the inn. And I'll, standing a few meters away, next to Revel, I'll first roll, and then I'll say what I actually say, if that's alright.
Yep. You are casting the ritual bind.
Yes.
What skill are you using here? Combat, I would, or fortitude.
Fortitude, yeah.
Do you want a devil's bargain? You are kind of not at risk of dying, but there is a chance that the ritual doesn't work. So you can also keep re-rolling to make the ritual work. That is the thing. You are the only person here not at risk of dying, so there really isn't a crazy risk for you right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take a devil's bargain then. I'll just do it this way.
Yeah, one light, one dark. This is hilarious.
So a 3 and a 1, and I don't know if I need to
You
whatever I need to do to make it work.
Those- If you wish to make it work, you may re-roll again, but add a dark die. So that means 1 light, 2 dark.
Okay.
Yeah, right now
Um,
both your rolls are failures. So that means your ritual
Oh,
would.
okay.
Yeah.
I did that with a 1, a 4, and a 3. I have no clue how the rolls work.
A 4 will succeed, but there will be a complication. Do you want to take that, or do you want to re-roll?
Yeah. No, hell yeah, I'll take a complication.
All right. Please describe what your ritual does and then what you say to cast it.
Yes. At whatever point you find fitting, you can say the complication. I'll just say what I'm intending to, which is standing next to Revel. Kel takes out their sword, lowers it so that the point is facing towards the ground, and grasps it with both hands, and says, I think your time has come to stop. And they lower their swords towards the ground where it clinks on the pavement, point first, and they stand there motionless, exerting and holding Laura's gaze, so that they are left standing there, both apples in their hands. And as they do, not looking at her, they will say, Revel, I want you. Trust me. And go over to him. Take Laura's sword. And do as you did in the court.
She has been positioned somewhat behind Cal, just kind of soothing Chrysanthemum after a really trying last handful of minutes. And you can almost sense her stiffen behind you. But after a few seconds, you can hear the pad of her velvet slippers move around you into the side. She refuses to look at Laura. How many people are standing around us right now?
So many. In fact, they all turn to watch. And as they watch, something that you were all very entranced in what you were doing, you failed to notice. They're all dead. They are all soldiers in different armors of different countries, of different nations. They are all priests. They are all women and children. In fact, they have familiar faces. Faces of people that you know. Continue to do what you're doing. Actually, do you continue to do what you're doing, or do you freeze?
I think that she is, I think it's very instinctual to be like, oh, who's watching me right now? And her eyes do find the face of someone from court. And
Not just someone from court. Your former master. Watching. Do you freeze?
She is frozen in place.
You freeze, we will do the contest roll now. That's what your complication is.
Oh, no, it was complication was Rebel the whole time.
This is the final roll. This is the final roll. This determines who wins and truly who lives. If anyone else lives. Something I forgot to mention for you, Kel, is that because your dark die was higher than your light die, you do mark a ruin. You are all at 5 ruin. You can all die. How a contest roll works is that each competing player takes a light die if you have a skill or equipment that will make this part easier. You may determine, I will allow you guys to use any skill you wish to make this next part easier.
Okay.
You may each now take a light die for each mark of ruin you currently have. That is 5 for each of you. You will have 6 light die.
Okay.
Lastly, you can take a dark die as many dark die as you wish to additionally roll. You will all have to take 1 dark die, though. What happens? Well, for each dark die in your roll that shows a 1, you will mark a ruin. You can only handle 1 more ruin. And you all have to have minimum 1 dark die. You can take as many as you want, though. This is where my friend rolled 200 dice. So you can do that. You are rolling 6 light and minimum 1 dark. You can add more dark, and then we will count who wins by most 6s, then 5s and 4s, etc. But your one issue is getting a 1 on the dark die to die.
So could I add a light die for flattery to maybe talk her way out of this at all?
Yes, absolutely. You will all get that. You will all automatically get your skill light die, so that's why you have
okay.
6 in total. Yeah.
Oh,
You can
okay,
say what
okay.
skill you want, and like that's how you're using it to get out of here, right?
Okay.
Like how
So we're
maybe,
each at
maybe
minimum
Laura
rolling
starts...
6 light and 1 dark minimum.
Yes, yeah, minimum. You may take even more dark die though, but you can no longer take any more light die. And when you are ready, you may roll.
Okay. Gotta go for it. So scared.
Yeah. This is fun. Oh!
She rolled a 1!
Okay. Oh my god. Oh my dear. Let me count here. This is insane.
Not both of you like rolling 2 deer heads, like 2 6s.
Oh my god. All right.
Gosh,
Let
we
me see.
both...
2 6s, and we gotta go to 5s, and you have 4 5s. No, 3 5s. 3 5s, right? 1, 2, 3. Laura has 3 5s, and Rebel has 2 5s. Laura's gonna win. However, you both don't die. Laura and Rebel do not die. Who dies? Kel. With a 1. Kel, you are at 6 ruin. Here's what's gonna happen. We have moved on to the epilogues. If you would like, I can narrate what happens here. And then you may narrate how you die, Kel, maybe what happens afterwards. Laura, do you get out of this forest at all? Revel, do you get out of this forest at all? That is how we can do it, if you want. Or you 3 may group collab what happens in this little town.
I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you two first. See what do you guys wanna what kind of ending you guys kind of see.
Is there anything that can be done about Kel?
No.
I am currently frozen as long as Kel doesn't move.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
when I'm
this...
dead, I don't move.
I know,
And when
but
you're
I'm...
dead, you don't move.
But what I'm wondering is, did something kill her, or did she break her concentration in some moment?
That is
that's what I'm asking. Is that...
That's
Yeah.
up to us.
Exactly.
That's up to y'all, yeah. Because where you're at, the dead walk. The dead are alive, objectively.
Yeah, so I'm kind of what I'm asking for kind of is who wants to walk out of here and who wants to, like, that's what I'm asking for, because I can adjust.
I'm not sure if Revel can get out of here on her own.
I would be perfectly okay. I mean, the thing is with the bedevil's bargain I took, it's not like he's gonna reach his goals anyway. So it really is just a matter of how we want this ending to go down, because there's not it. He can get out of this forest, but he's not getting back to the church. Not in the way that he thinks.
So because the dead walk here, does Kel possess any sort of autonomy over their movement anymore? Or is this just like consciousness is severed and it's just a ambient meandering?
That is low-key up to Kel.
Yeah.
But for this moment, I will say that Kel is stuck doing what they. Well, actually, no, there is an answer to that. Because you guys didn't really get a chance. You were very, very caught up with what you were doing. You didn't get a chance to notice. You are stuck doing the last thing you were doing here. And that means Kel is actually stuck doing this ritual.
Okay, I think with that, I have an idea, because in my head, the dead are walking around us, and I'm standing there with my sword to the ground, doing this ritual and freezing Laura in place. And I feel every vein in me, I feel my heart begin to tighten up. And I feel myself begin to like choke on my own blood. If it's from this ritual, if it's from this environment, this forest, I don't even know, perhaps something Laura is doing. I begin to feel every part of me like spasm and seize up, and I am stuck here whether I want to or not. Now I started this ritual, and now I'm stuck doing this ritual. And as such, Laura is stuck standing there. And I sputter out. It doesn't matter anymore.
I think you begin to grow roots like the trees you saw earlier. Laura, do you want to go next for your epilogue, or would you like Revel to go next for their epilogue?
I could go next.
Mm-hmm.
When the roots start to take hold, Laura doesn't know what's going on, but he feels that this must be a sign that he's meant to leave this forest. But as he feels the ritual, the binding ritual fade away, and he's able to move, every step he takes towards Kel just fills his heart with this weight, like a lead, just a lead weight filling his soul. And by the time he reaches her, he almost doesn't feel like he can ever see the light of the lady again. But he doesn't know what else to do. So he grabs her sack and rummages around in there to find the scroll. And he mutters under his breath, "May the lady bless the path you walk on." And he's going to look to Revel. I didn't want it to happen like this. But if you'd like to come with me, we can leave this forest together.
As
I'm
soon
still-
as Revel... Sorry, keep going.
I'm still bound to serve.
As soon as Revel realizes that something is wrong with Kel, because she freezes up, but there's almost that when you become close with someone and there's that discordant note in the air when something is amiss with them and you can't help but avert your attention. And she doesn't understand what's going on. She's practicing in alchemy and some magics. But this is all unknown to her. And she does rush over and she's trying to rouse Kel. She starts quietly at first, a reasonable person's attempt, trying to shake by the shoulders, a little tap on the cheek. But as she realizes more and more that something has gone wrong in the ritual, that Laura has done something, whatever has happened, Kel is not coming back. And it escalates to the point where she is screaming. And she's shaking Kel harder. And she can hear Laura talk. Turns around. He's rummaging. That gets turned to him. Because she knows he's looking for the scroll. And she rips the ring off her finger. And she throws it at him. And a lot of it doesn't make sense, but the general gist is accusing him. Why have you done this? Why would you do this? And she is devolving into tears, and she sinks to her knees. Sorry. She wraps her arms around Kel's legs, and she just lays her face.
You good? You need a minute? Okay.
I'm just an emotional baby.
I don't think any of you leave the forest. I think you're stuck in this fort town. Kel, you become a little warrior tree. Sort of like the ones that you saw earlier, where the branches wrapped around to make arms, and they grew from armor. I think that is what you slowly become. Laura, you feel the light fade. That scroll is empty. That scroll wasn't even related remotely to yours. It talks of an adventure? You're not sure anymore. And that ring, it's a wooden ring. And sure, maybe one day you will feel her light again. If you atone. If you help the dead here. But you can't help things that don't exist. And Revel, you stay here as well, I believe, in this town. You never make it to your heiress. You never make it to Nakane. But you do know magic. And forests need witches. And that's where we're gonna leave off on Trophy Dark. Shit. Goodness. Are we all okay? Are we all okay? Are we good? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you to people who stuck around this long. Trophy Dark is a very tragic, embracing game. And I'm so glad that I hope it was fun. I really hope it was fun for y'all and you got to experience some horror in a safe way. join us next week. Not us, but like Ignite Recall's happening next week. It better be. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good. I think we're good to go.